They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But sometimes it's best served at 3 a.m., with a fleet of tow trucks lined up like you're staging an armored assault on suburbia. I mean, imagine waking up in the dead of night to the nose-burning stench of fresh asphalt, only to find your private $80,000 gravel driveway paved over by your HOA, your survey markers smashed, and a smug letter on your porch charging you $3,200 for the upgrade, plus a monthly fee. That's exactly what happened to me, and yeah, I did something about it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 years back, after I sold my concrete business in Dallas, my wife Elena and I thought we'd hit the jackpot. 3 acres of rolling hill country, just outside Willowbrook Commons. House sat a good 400 yards off the road, driveway crunching under your tires in that way that just feels right, you know? Only this wasn't some HOA playground. The road in? I bought it separate, private access carved out by an old rancher named George Blackwood back in the 80s, strictly to stay out of HOA reach. Cost me, but peace of mind always does. Elena, high school principal, sharp as a tack, laughs like she's breaking up a bar fight, was all in. Our daughter Sophia, 15, brainy, kept clear of drama. That first year, our biggest complaint was the mockingbirds singing too loud in the evening. But then Vivian Ashworth rolled into our lives, the kind of real estate agent who makes you wish you'd moved to a cabin in the woods. President of the HOA, 3 years running, vanity plates, Prop Ken. I wish I was making that up. She had this little ruler she'd pull out to measure grass height. I saw her use it on a neighbor's lawn, twice. So, picture this one Tuesday morning. I'm drinking coffee, thinking about nothing, and suddenly there's this rumble outside. Crews out there paving over my driveway like it's a county road. Fence posts ripped up, survey markers gone. And where the driveway meets the street, they've put up stone pillars. Willowbrook Commons grand entrance. My property, their branding. You know what I mean? I stormed down to the HOA office, boots still covered in gravel dust. Vivian's sitting there like a movie villain, big grin, plot map spread out on her desk. We're just bringing your access up to community standards, she says, drawing out rustic, like I'd brought home a disease. Claimed the last owner verbally agreed to share the Roadno documents. Just her word versus a dead man. That afternoon, a letter arrives, $3,200 assessment, $85 a month, landscaping demands, threats of liens if I didn't comply. I'm not gonna lie, Elena was so mad I thought the cabinets would crack. Our driveway turned into a skateboard park, teenagers everywhere. Vivian thought she had it all locked up. What she didn't know was, George Blackwood left me a deed with language that made her lawyer's head spin. And I'd been a developer long enough to know her little improvements violated at least 3 county codes. No permits anywhere. 48 hours later, county posts a stop work order. That orange sign waving in the breeze? Better than Christmas. But Vivian doubled down. Security guard at the driveway, clipboard in hand, wanted to check my ID. I almost laughed, but I'd seen this trick before. Build something, act like it's permanent, then threaten you into submission. That's not community. That's extortion. I got my old business partner Dustin to run a professional survey, then called Rex, a retired deputy who knew how to dig up dirt literally and figuratively. Within days, he'd found out Vivian had been buying up land around me through shell companies, trying to pressure me out by making me the last holdout. The kicker? She'd need a decade of documented community use to get a prescriptive easement. I had receipts showing private gates every winter since '87. The next move was classic lawyer theater. Certified mail from a firm I'd actually used myself, threatening a $50,000 lawsuit because my survey stakes damaged community property. Irony, right? All the while, Vivian had her beautification walks, groups of neighbors parading past our place, snapping photos, whispering, acting like they were scouting for a reality show. Sophia started keeping her curtains closed, said she felt like a fish in a bowl. When the county office lost my permit's new clerk with the same last name as Vivian, imagine that. It was clear this wasn't just a neighbor feud. It was a shakedown. Filing fee to reapply? $2,800. And my road would be questionable for 6 to 8 months. I dealt with enough city hall crooks to know this was coordinated. Meanwhile, Rex's digging paid off again. Vivian's shell companies were loaded up with debt. She needed my land to finish her luxury development and avoid going bust. The heat got turned up, irrigation line cut, garden hoses slashed, mailbox whacked at 3 a.m., and teenagers using our driveway like it was Tony Hawk's private ramp. And every week, another letter, another threat. Our taxes nearly doubled after the improvement, and Elena started getting cornered at the grocery store by neighbors asking if we were about to lose the house. But here's the twist. I wasn't the only target. Marcus Webb retired, Marine got security cams up. Dr. Hernandez, a local doc, found out Vivian had lowballed her neighbor and then forgot to pick up their trash for weeks after they refused to sell. The pattern was clear. It wasn't about standards. It was about forcing out anyone who wouldn't roll over. By now, it was open warfare. Vivian tried to rezone my road as a public thoroughfare if she won. The city could grab it for $1. Meanwhile, her shell companies owed $340,000 to lenders, and she was under investigation for embezzlement. The Community Improvement Fund she offered Elena as a Bribbian tape, no less turned out to be HOA dues funneled to cover her loan payments. Rex found the smoking gun original deed restrictions, ironclad, filed in triplicate, not a single word about shared use. It even said protection against neighborhood busybody interference with a man's God-given right to drive on his own damn land. George Blackwood, wherever he is, probably raised a glass that night. We set up what Elena dubbed the war room in our garage. Maps, documents, surveillance photos, all of it. Marcus brought the security expertise, Dr. Hernandez the legal research, Janet the organizational skills. And my ace in the hole? Jake Morrison, tow truck king of the county, owed $12,000 by the HOA. Mechanics' liens take priority. Jake's trucks could force a fire sale of HOA assets if it came to that. Vivian's next move was pure spectacle. Community action, day 20 neighbors in matching t-shirts, bolt cutters and sledgehammers in hand, ready to fix our property. But Marcus had the sheriff's deputy waiting in the wings. The TV crew Vivian called for her big moment. They got footage of her getting arrested for trespassing, waving bolt cutters, screaming about property values. That went viral. And just like that, her whole empire unraveled. Bank accounts frozen, insurance canceled, board members running for cover. FBI, EPA, state attorney, all in the mix. Embezzlement, environmental crimes, municipal corruption. It was a federal buffet. Judge handed down 8 years, RICO damages, and every dime she stole went to restoring the wetlands she'd trashed. Our road became a nature trail. Elena, Marcus, Dr. Hernandez, they rebuilt the HOA from the ground up. Janet ran the books. The place turned into a model for transparency, property values shot up, and the whole county took notice. And me? I used my settlement money to start a scholarship for veterans' families. Figured that was the kind of community improvement we could all get behind. Sophia won a writing award for her essay about standing up to bullies. Full ride to UT Engineering. Elena got promoted, and for the first time in years we took a real family vacation. Now, every evening, we sit on our back porch listening to the birds and the laughter of kids' hours and the neighbors, echoing over a gravel road that no HOA will ever touch again. Sometimes I think about how close we came to losing it all, and then I remember what that judge said. Property rights aren't negotiable in America. So, tell me, what would you do if someone tried to steal your land in the name of community improvement? Ever had an HOA story that just wouldn't quit? Drop your own tales of neighborhood justice in the comments. And hey, remember, keep your deeds in order, your cameras rolling, and your patience long. You never know when a late-night tow truck run will turn the tables for good.